for our lesson plan, the portion I'd like to focus on the most, because I believe it would be my favorite, was mainly our activities and how we did it. So basically, these two major sections right here. We used the uh, co-teaching model of station teaching, which I think works really, really well for this lesson plan because our three activities are very different from each other, and so they work really well as three different stations where the students can choose where they want to go. The three activities being obviously Google searches, mind maps, flashcards. Google searches in this case being using Google Earth to explore pre-marked. So we have bookmarks set up, so the students are just clicking around everywhere because they might get lost. So we have bookmarks set up for specific locations that match the regions we want them to look at, and then they can explore those with Google Earth. Digitally walk around and tour them, write down some details they notice, yada yada. The flashcards is kind of like a flashcard activity slash game memorization game where the students are basically mixed up pile of flashcards. Then there's a lot of details and characteristics on them, and then the students' job together is work as a little group. Well, it's usually like pairs, I think is how we said it, and they would attempt to match the details correctly to each region. So snowy for mountains, water for beaches, etc. And then the final one was mind maps, which is basically students would develop a large mind map, and in the center would be California, and then around that would be the different regions we're talking about. And the idea is students will be trying to brainstorm together and discuss with each other characteristics that they believe works for each, or sorry, details they works for each region, and then they'd write that down, connected to the regions on the mind map, so they have like a big picture at the end when they see it. I think that these three activities are very different from one another. I think they're different enough that it works really, really well with UDL, because the idea of the lesson is that when we begin, the students will have a chance to choose which station they want to work at. And so we have three different activities. They're all very different from one another. They all still can and incentivize social learning, which is, as we discussed here, our social learning theory by Albert Bandura was a inspiration for this lesson idea. And one of them even uses and incorporates technology heavily into it via Google Earth, and so that gives students both a chance to interact with Google Earth while also both having a slightly more independent focused style of learning, since if they wanted to, they could explore on their own, but they don't have to, and so that doesn't force them to all have to work together all the time. And it also will give them a chance to use any type of technological um, accessibilities, or that sort of idea. They can Technology can help them in ways that they might not be able to work with physical, non-technological standard type activities such as the flashcards or the mind maps. And so I really, really like the activities we came up with. I think that they are unique enough to be entertaining, engaging, and learning focused. And I also believe that they're all different enough for each other that they really, really work well with the station teaching model that we decided to choose for this. Because a teacher can be at each of the three stations, and they can monitor them while also both monitoring and observing, which I think works very, very well.